Rondos are at the heart and soul of every football team nowadays. They are dynamic, fast-paced, they work on so many different elements of the game that they should absolutely be in your coach's toolkit. Here we're going to look at 5 of our favourite rondos that you can use with your team straight away. So first up, we have a simple 4v2 times 2. So here we've got 2 boxes set up, and 2 of the red players are straight in pressing the ball against the green team. Now all the green team have got to do is move the ball around, and if the red team win possession, then they're going to transfer it nice and quickly back to their own box. As soon as they do that, the 2 closest green players are going to press straight into that box and attempt to win it back as quickly as possible. If the ball goes back out, then the coach immediately feeds a ball back into play to keep the tempo and the intensity going. And again, all that's going to happen is it's all about those quick transitions, moving across to close the ball down nice and quickly. And we're looking to try and split the defence as much as possible whilst moving the ball around, and really try and isolate those gaps so that we can get possession through and retain it as much as possible. This drill's nice and easy to set up. It's just 2 boxes. We've used poles in our demonstration, but you can use cones as well. Next up, we've got a little 8 versus 4 rondo. So all this is 4 boxes, nice and simply set out, and you've got 2 green players in each team with 4 reds working across all 4 boxes. When one of the red players wins the ball off the green, then all of the 4 red players converge on that box, creating a 4 versus 2 in that area. Now if the green team win the ball back, then they immediately try and expand play out to the full area again, giving us back to the 8 versus 4. And that is it, nice and simple. Next up, we've got a 5 versus 2. And all this is 5 green players versus the 2 red, and we're looking to hold possession as long as possible, trying to string together a certain number of passes. So the coach can say, once you get to 10 passes, then you're immediately allowed to shoot at goal. Now what we shouldn't do is force that, so if the option isn't on to shoot, then we don't. And likewise, if the red team win possession, then they can immediately try and find space to get a shot away and shoot at goal. Now this doesn't have to be a full-size goal, this can just be a small sort of samba net, or even just a couple of poles set out at either end of the box. As soon as the red team win possession, they're going to go for the shot, and if the green team manage to string together 10 passes, then they're allowed to shoot at goal as well. Here we're trying to hold possession as long as possible whilst the red team are working on those sort of quick breakdowns of play. And the green team, if they do win possession, they need to be nice and quick into that defensive positioning to try and make sure that the red team do not get the opportunity to shoot on goal. Next up then, we've got a 4 versus 4 versus 4. Here we've used the 18-yard box and we've got a goalkeeper in nets. And all it is that 2 teams are going to be in possession of the ball, with 1 team working as the defensive unit. When a team gives up possession, that team immediately become the defending unit. So if the green team give away possession, then they become the defending team, and the red and white team would work together. Now what you can do here is get the goalkeeper to assist in monitoring what teams are working together, and it helps build their communication. To expand this, all we're going to do is extend out from the 18-yard box, and it just gives a little bit more space for players to work in and lets them sort of work on that kind of switching of play type phase, and it just gives them more space to move and a little bit more time on the ball to sort of think and maybe make a few different decisions that you might want them to work on. And lastly, what we can do as a coach is open up the wide areas and bring it into a more match realistic play, where we could perhaps think about introducing the offside rule, just to give it that extra game realism. Next up then, we're going to move on to Rondo 5, and this is just a simple 2v2 plus 4. So we've got players working in the middle, 2 versus 2, and we've got 4 reds and 4 greens along the outside. Now what these players on the outside should be doing is tracking play to make sure that they're always ready to support their team. The play can go from side to side, but really we're looking at getting those quick switches of play through the middle, where we try and open up and get it from one side to the other as fast and effectively as possible. And all this game is looking at doing is keeping possession and keeping the ball moving and away from the opposition team. What the coach should do is rotate the players along the outside every now and then. And last up, a little bonus rondo. We've got a little 4 versus 4 inside the 18-yard box again, plus 2 neutral players. And all it is you're playing a 4 versus 4 with the greens and reds, with the blue neutral players working with whatever team is in possession, just to give that 6 versus 4 overload and get the defensive team working a little bit harder and get the in possession team thinking about what they're doing and moving the ball around nice and effectively. What we are looking for as well is for the goalkeeper to get involved as much as possible, and we're looking to string together as many passes as we can, but we're aiming for a certain target, so we can say to the players 10 goals and you can score on goal. If 10 is a little bit difficult or your age level of players just can't quite reach that, then drop it down by all means and maybe say to them 7 passes strung together and you can shoot, or even 5 if they're struggling to put too much together, and you can always build back up. And that is it from us at the Football Hub today. We hope you enjoyed them. Give these rondos a try and subscribe to us for more coaching content.